The interim heavyweight championship co-main event here at UFC 295. Tom Aspinall coming in at minus 125 against Sergei Pavlovich, sitting at minus 105. Over under 1.5 rounds, plus 175 for the over, minus 215 for the under. Are we going to get one of those Almeida Lewis fights where everyone's on the under? The under is so chalked, and then we make it to a decision somehow. I would be baffled if that happens in this one because I don't see a way where one guy lays on the other for 5 rounds. So these guys, two of the fastest finishers in the UFC. You see Aspinall there as a slight favorite. I believe he's been the favorite in every single one of his fights. Pavlovich just on an absolute tear since he took that loss to Alistair Overeem, knocking everyone out in the first round. This one, I've been waiting for this one for so long. I'm glad it got added to this card. Honestly, I think it's a better fight than John Jones-Stipe. Doesn't have quite the height, but this is the future of the heavyweight division. Who you liking in this one?
Yeah, I think we're going opposite again on this one. I like Tom Aspinall, and for a couple of reasons. One, I think the athleticism, obviously Pavlovich is an athlete and he's big, hits hard, but Aspinall, all in all, like with the footwork, the speed, he's got the wrestling and the ground game, and he hits hard, obviously, as well. I think that could benefit him here because if Sergei can't come out here and get this first round finish, and there's a lot of hype in this fight, it's a lot of energy, and the first round goes by, and all of a sudden he starts slowing down. I think Aspinall's going to be the one who's going to look better as this fight goes on, and he can rack up some damage and really wear Pavlovich out, and then take the fight from there. But as always, Pavlovich is going to be super live in that first round. It just kind of depends what happens in that first round is what's going to, decide the outcome of this fight for sure. But with Aspinall, comes off the knee injury, looks good against Marcin Tybura. Not really the best competition, if you ask me. Tybura is a vet. He's got some wins under his belt, got a lot of losses as well. But other than that, he beats Volkov by submission in the first round, beats Spivak by TKO in the first round. Andrei Arlovsky, older, and then, Collier, Badeau, not the highest level of guys. But, when he's out there and he's fighting some of these other heavyweights that are a tad slower than him or aren't as athletic, he looks really, really good. And I think it's all about the footwork with him. Like I said, he's more of an athlete, in my opinion, and it takes him far in some of these fights. Pavlovich, though, obviously he's going to be live to catch Tom Aspinall at any time. He's shown it over and over again that outside of Francis Ngannou, like there's not many people who are matching the punching power that Pavlovich has. So he's always live, especially in round one. You see the majority, if not all of his finishes coming in the first round. So that's another thing for me too. All these round one finishes. What happens when we get to the second round with a guy like Pavlovich when you're fighting Aspinall, who might try to get you up against the cage? He's probably not as strong as Pavlovich, but the more times he tries to do that, the more times he engages in the clinch. It's just going to wear down that Pavlovich gas tank. For me, I think Aspinall's got what it takes. Another super close fight. And then the last factor that really swayed me was looking where all the money's coming in this fight. 72% of total bets are on Sergei Pavlovich. 79% of the total money is on him as well. And, he's still a slight underdog. So I don't know. That doesn't sit right with me if to be picking and betting on Pavlovich. So in that situation, I think I got to take Tom Aspinall here.
If I remember correctly, Sergei Pavlovich had about 80% of the money on him against Curtis Blades when he was like plus 140, plus 150. He was an underdog to Curtis Blades, and there was all the money on him. Still able to come through. Now, I've been a big backer of Tom Aspinall. I was on him like every fight, and obviously I've lost once against Curtis Blades. I would have loved to see how that fight played out if he didn't get injured within the first 15 seconds. And I'm a huge believer in Tom Aspinall, but I ain't going against Sergei Pavlovich. I'm just not going to do it because as much as people want to say Aspinall is going to be more athletic, he's going to be faster, I don't think it's going to be that big of a difference. I really don't. Listen, Sergei Pavlovich is fast. He's fast too. I mean, he doesn't look as athletic as Tom Aspinall. Aspinall is more light on his feet. But the way that Pavlovich can blitz you, he's in he's connecting with your face before you can even realize it. Like his hands are as fast as they come. So in this one against Tom Aspinall, I just don't see a way where he's able to pull this off easily. Like the only way he can really pull this off in my eyes is if he takes him into deep waters. But even then, we haven't seen Tom Aspinall pass the first round other than against Andrei Arlovsky. But that's Andrei Arlovsky. You know, like we haven't seen Tom Aspinall go into deep waters either. So in this one, I think Pavlovich is a tough matchup for him because Pavlovich is going to come forward. It's not like Tom Aspinall can just dance around the outside against him. Like Pavlovich will make you fight him. He will absolutely make you fight him. You're gonna have to choose. Like, are you gonna stand and trade with him? Are you gonna try to take him down? Well, one guy's been able to take him down, and that's his only pro loss. But since then, nobody's been able to take him down. So I don't think going in here that Tom Aspinall is going to be able to take him down with ease. Nor do I think Tom Aspinall is going to be willing to trade with him in the pocket. So I think Pavlovich puts the pressure on him early. He's going to make him make a choice. Is he going to take him down or is he going to trade? If he trades with him, I'm taking Pavlovich all day. If he goes for the takedown, I have faith that Pavlovich can stuff the wrestling because Pavlovich was a wrestler before he became a mixed martial artist. Like he's got the wrestling background. Now, if it gets to the ground, Aspinall's got the better BJJ, but I do think Pavlovich should be able to fight that off and get back to his feet. But honestly, I just don't think he's going to take him down. I really don't. You look at how freaking thick Pavlovich is and the way he was able to sprawl on Curtis Blades. There was no chance Curtis Blades was taking him down because
True.
He sprawled that instantly. Like there was no chance he was getting that. And I think it really comes down to Aspinall has to make a decision. I don't think either decision is going to work out well for him. So I got to go with Sergei Pavlovich. I just think he's been the guy. He's been prepared for this date at least. He was going to be the backup for Jones Miocic. He's been prepared for this date. Aspinall is on 2 weeks notice, a little less than 2 weeks notice. I think, Aspinall hasn't even fought in the U.S. since he fought Sergei Spivak back in 2021. All of his fights have been in London. Pavlovich trains in the U.S. If I saw the embedded correctly, Aspinall just got here like 2 days ago. So I think everything points to Pavlovich in this one too. He's going to be my pick. I've been an Aspinall guy for a long time, but I don't like this matchup. I got to go with the Russian. Plus, when are you going to go with the Englishman over a Russian? Like if you just think about, I was watching the countdown earlier today, and Aspinall was talking about how he couldn't get fights over in England because there wasn't like heavyweights that he could fight. Pavlovich got those heavyweights in Russia. Like he's been fighting guys for a very long time that are much better than the guys over in England. And we know that those Cage Warriors fades. Tom Aspinall from Cage Warriors. And in the UFC too, honestly, not that impressed with like his wins in the UFC. Obviously, they're impressive performances, but when does a win over Marcin Tybura get you a title shot? Like never. That is just never a thing. Pavlovich, though, wins over Curtis Blades, Tai Tuivasa, and Derek Lewis, all within the past year and a half. So I think all signs point to Pavlovich in this one. He'll be my pick. You got anything else?
What are you thinking as far as how long this fight goes? Because two of these guys, the two guys fighting are obviously the two guys who have the least amount of, I guess, octagon time per fight. They're finishing their fights extremely fast, usually under 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. So do you think that kind of offsets each other and we get a little bit longer of a fight this time? Do you think this thing goes over a round? Do you think we see the second or not?
Honestly, don't. I think it's Pavlovich first round KO. I really do. I just don't think Aspinall's going to be able to like fight the way that he wants to fight. If the way he wants to fight is to stay to the outside or even mix in the wrestling, I just don't think he's gonna be able to do it. So I think it's Pavlovich first round KO. Once he starts landing on you, you have to make choices. Like he's one of the guys where if he hits you once, he stuns you once, he's gonna pounce. Yeah. And so I don't think Aspinall has really been hit that hard either. Like he's gonna have to make decisions very quickly before he realizes what hit him. Pavlovich is already hitting him with other shots. So I think it's Pavlovich first round KO.
Would you take round 2 to start at plus 200?
Now that is interesting because if Aspinall wins, I think it could be like round 2, round 3, but you know, then you're getting some plus money on round to start or fight to start round 2. So that is interesting, but I still think it's Pavlovich round 1.
Yeah.